Hi, everyone. I hope you and your loved ones are doing well today. My name is Sam Cabriales, and I am a partner at Arredondo and Cabriales LLC, certified public accountants. Today, I will be discussing the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or widely known as EIDL. This loan is normally offered by the Small Business Administration, also known as the SBA, for federal emergencies such as natural disasters like tornadoes, wildfires, or floods. However, on March 13, 2020, President Donald Trump declared COVID-19 a nationwide emergency. The declaration opened the doors for small businesses across the country to seek emergency financing. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan was further enhanced as part of the CARES Act to provide funding for businesses affected by the pandemic. The SBA created a portal to apply online. The online application became available on March 30th, 2020. At your request, Arredondo and Cabriales LLC assisted your company with the online application on the SBA's portal. Let me give you more information about this loan. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan application is through the SBA and funded directly by the SBA. The loan application is based on your credit worthiness. The loan terms provide for an advance of money for businesses considered for approval of up to $10,000. Please know that not all businesses were considered or will be considered for an advance payment and or approval. The SBA provides terms of 30 years at 3.75% per year on this type of loan. If a business qualifies for the EIDL, there will be no payments for the first 12 months after the origination of the loan. The EIDL loan was originally advertised as a $10,000 grant from the SBA for businesses affected by the pandemic. The SBA then updated the terms to provide $1,000 per employee with a maximum of $10,000 if you had 10 employees or more. Let me give you an example. A business with 4 employees as of January 31st, 2020 would receive $4,000, which equals 4 times 1,000 per employee. The loan advance is considered a grant. You do not have to prepay this amount. However, if you received a PPP loan from your bank, this may reduce your PPP loan forgiveness amount. So, what is the process for obtaining this loan? Number one, the application is filed online and the SBA receives your online application. The second part is the loan is then received and reviewed for credit worthiness, and your business is considered for an advance of $1,000 per employee up to $10,000 maximum. This advance is not included as part of the final loan proposal. The SBA will then review your application more in detail and provide you with a decision of approval or denial of your application via email for additional funds. If your loan is approved by the SBA will make a proposed loan amount and you will need to set up an online account to confirm the amount that you would like to accept. Please note that you may choose to decrease the amount you accept from the proposed amount. Let me illustrate. If you get an email saying that your business is approved for $20,000, you can choose to only accept $11,000. Please note that you will need to verify your identity and the routing and bank account information used for direct deposit of the loan proceeds. Upon the completion of the verification, an SBA consultant will reach out to you to seek additional information for the final approval of your loan. Once you have signed the promissory note, the funds will be directly deposited into your bank. As mentioned before, payment will commence after 12 months from the start of your loan. I would like to point out that the economic injury disaster loan, known as the EIDL, should not be confused with the Paycheck Protection Program loan, known as PPP. This video will be focused entirely on the economic injury loan provided by the Small Business Administration. I would also like to mention that any business that received the PPP loan will receive a reduction in loan forgiveness from the SBA equal to the amount received as an advance of the EIDL application. This reduction will effectively decrease the loan forgiveness for any business that received a PPP loan from their bank. Please note that a final decision on the loan reduction is made by the SBA and not your bank for a PPP loan. Any business that did not receive a Paycheck Protection Program loan, known as PPP, from their bank should not worry about these comments. Let us now look at how the loan works. The EIDL offers many favorable terms. The economic injury disaster loan, if it's smaller than $200,000, can be approved without any personal guarantee. For loans under $25,000, the SBA does not take any security interest in collateral. And for loans about $25,000 or above, the SBA takes a general security interest in all collateral as defined in the promissory note. Please note that there is no prepayment fees for early payoff. Additionally, you may request a loan increase for additional disaster-related damages as soon as the need for additional funds is discovered. However, the SBA will not consider a request for a loan increase received more than 2 years from the date of your loan approval unless there are extraordinary and unforeseeable circumstances beyond the control of the borrower. Be sure to carefully read your promissory note and security agreement upon receipt before signing it. You will get 6 months to approve or decline your loan. If you choose to accept it, you must comply with all the terms shown on your loan authorization agreement and promissory note. So let's talk about the security interest requirement for loans $25,000 or over. The SBA lays claim on any tangible and intangible personal property, including but not limited to inventory, equipment, instruments, promissory notes, letter of credit rights, accounts, healthcare insurance and credit card receivable, deposit accounts, intangibles, and software. Some of this may not sound familiar. You should know that you can't sell, lease, license, or otherwise transfer any part of the collateral or interest in the collateral without the SBA's consent, with the exception of inventory in the ordinary course of business. In other words, if you're in the business of selling products, you do not have to get permission to sell things that you normally sell. Just be aware of these clauses and contact legal counsel if you plan to sell a business asset that might be included in the SBA's claim. Now let's talk about how the loan can be used. EIDL loan funds can be used for a wide range of business working capital needs to alleviate economic injury caused by the pandemic occurring in the month of January 31st, 2020, and continuing thereafter. Let me expand on what the SBA has provided for eligible expenses, which includes payments such as rent, accounts payable, and some bills that could have been paid had the disaster not happened. Please call the SBA directly for questions about allowed expenses. The SBA has provided a longer list of things that cannot be used or paid from the EIDL loan funds. Disallowed payments include dividends and bonuses, disbursements to owners unless for the performance of their services, repayment of stockholders or principal loans, expansion of facilities or acquisition of fixed assets such as equipment, repair or replacement of physical damages, refinancing of long-term debt from other lenders, paying down or paying off loans provided or owned by another federal agency, including the SBA. For example, you cannot use the EIDL funds to pay the PPP loan. Payment of any part of direct federal debt except IRS obligations, and relocation. Obviously, you will have to keep track of how you use these loan funds. You'll probably want to establish a separate business account for the loan proceeds, and I strongly recommend maintaining a log of all the funds used and proof of all the payments made. The SBA requires that you keep books and records for the most recent 5 years until 3 years after the date of the maturity, including extensions, or the date in which the loan is paid in full, whichever one comes first. In addition, you will have to keep itemized paid receipts and invoices and canceled checks. In short, it is more important than ever to keep good records. It is important to note that the economic injury disaster loan requires certain certifications from your business. Read them carefully before you take the loan. Let me tell you a couple of examples of these certifications. There are no substantial adverse changes in the borrower's financial condition or a company structure since the date of the application for this loan. Adverse changes include, but are not limited to, judgment liens, tax liens, mechanics liens, bankruptcy, financial reverses, and arrest or conviction of a felony, etc. Another example is another certification that there is no claim for application for any compensation for disaster losses that has been submitted to or requested from any source, and no such compensation has been received other than that which the borrower has fully disclosed by the in the SBA. To be eligible for the economic injury disaster loan, your business must have suffered due to the pandemic. If you wrongfully apply for this loan, you may be subject to civil and/or criminal penalties. I hope that this gives you more insight into the obligations that you are involved in taking on these loans. Please keep in mind that Arredondo y Cabriales LLC is only providing business consulting and tax advisory services for the economic injury disaster loan application process. All consulting offered is with the information provided by the SBA and is subject to modification due to rapid changes in circumstances and current economic conditions, as well as the interpretation of the CARES Act. Arredondo y Cabriales LLC does not offer legal advice. Please consult with your attorney or legal counsel for any legal questions that you may have. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Should you have any additional questions, do not hesitate to contact Martha Flores in our office. I wish you and your loved ones to be safe. We wish you the best during these challenging times. Goodbye, everybody.